Everyone was really excited about a lightweight social and mobile loyalty program that was easy to implement, fun for users to engage with, and ultimately drove revenue.
Yeah, everyone in the company has been involved in creating the product, not only on the development side, but also like defining what it needs to be and changing things as we go, as we learn stuff from the market. So I think that's something really important for the company.
I think what stands out when people, look at the service is we've taken something incredibly complex, which is loyalty systems and life cycle marketing and incentives, and there's so many moving parts, and made it cut and paste simple. I mean, that's the first thing people always take away from is, oh, I'm done the implementation and things are starting to work. The tab is kind of a reference to the product where there's a rewards tab that shows up. And punch is basically I was just looking for an action verb, something punchy, something engaging, something that would knock you out.
Yeah, and so we are Mexican wrestlers.
We are wrestlers.
We like punchy stuff.
That's our real day job. As you know, startups are built at night. During the day, we wrestle all across the world. I have been since the 60s.
Yeah, I've been big in the 80s.
80s. He dominated in the 80s.
Yeah.
The only thing that matters in the first 12, 18 months of a company is figuring out how to get your product into the right people's hands. Anyone can build a product, not anyone, but a lot of people can build products, but really figuring out who your market is and how to reach them is the biggest, I think, obstacle to getting a business off the ground. Time is kind of what's scarce in the early days. People think it's money, but it's actually time, which is worth a lot more to launching a young business.
As soon as you get started, the clock is ticking. Just get a race.
Neither of us are experts at everything, so we play to our strengths mostly.
Yeah. We pretty much have the same strength, I would say. So.
which is good and bad, because I think it's bad in the sense that I wouldn't say bad, but luckily we were able to supplement our skills with people that we found.
Yeah.
If we weren't able to do that, if we weren't able to hire, if nobody wanted to work us, we'd be dead, because between the two of us, we're good at maybe two things. But it's also good in that when Mehdi's out, at a customer site making them successful, I can cover for him here in a certain respect. And when I'm out, Mehdi can jump in with an investor call or a customer call or a media event as well. So you've got to have kind of that chemistry and that dynamic where it's very natural for one of us to do the other's job and vice versa.
I think we're pretty competitive. We like obstacles. We like to take them one by one and say, okay, let's figure that one out and just work on it. And once you have this one out, you just take on the next one. I like to think it that way.
The other thing is just you can't let things get you down. I mean, it's I'm known for my inspirational speeches around here, which start with, hey, 90% chance that nobody will care about what the next product that we're working on, but that's part of the game. You got to be able to get up, time and time again, and just keep going. I mean, that's if you don't like to fail, you probably don't like to learn either. So you just have to have that tenacity to keep going. You do this enough times, and you learn that even the most seasoned of us really don't know. You're constantly learning. You can sit down with any entrepreneur in the Valley, and no matter how successful they are, they will tell you about the failures. They will tell you about the 90% of things that they do that didn't work at all. I mean, it was just train wrecks after train wrecks until things started to gel and things started to mesh. So you have to be wired that way, and you have to surround yourself with people that have been through it.
Yeah, for me it wasn't at all fear. I mean, I guess I had really nothing to lose. It was just excitement, pure excitement.
We both took pay cuts. I think you took a 50% pay cut. I took a 75% pay cut to start the company. But it felt like the right thing to do. It felt like there was a big opportunity here. Most of the people here took pay cuts to join us. But again, I don't think any of us could imagine what else we would be doing right now. We wanted to build a reactive organization, ones where mistakes wouldn't spiral out of control. So throw things out, or jump on things, or shut things down. That's what we do here. Is when we see something that's not performing, or something that's the train is slowly coming towards us. There's lots of time to react.
And we don't over optimize. So we don't spend a lot of time on small things. We're gonna spend a little bit of time try to see how it works and then react to it. So we don't get ourselves into a big mistakes. We're gonna get ourselves into a small mistake that we can readjust.
Many small mistakes.
Many small mistakes. Yeah.
I think it's, I think they call it not getting out of the building enough. So not really testing their ideas against real customers, real users. Don't talk to guys like us because we understand the nuts and bolts and trends and things like that. But find people like your parents who have no idea. What's around the corner from the industry and what product experiences, future product experiences look like. It's always a litmus test for me is if non-technical, regular people you meet at the grocery store can adopt your service or understand your vision, that's going to go well. So I think a lot of it is around working too much up in here and not in the market.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing. Like getting stuck on your specific idea, on your specific way to think about the way you want to build your product. That's not the right way to do it. Maybe go talk to people and find out that there is other ways. Wrestling, number one. Generosity. With your time, with your you gotta put a lot of things into what you build. So generosity is something that would come to mind. I'll let you do another one.
Waking up every day, having those butterflies in your stomach, and really enjoying it. I mean, that's I love that part about this business is you don't know what the day is going to bring.
Yeah, liking being uncomfortable. Like you're not really sure what the day gonna be, but
right.
I
guess it's not getting too comfortable.
Yeah.
I think being able to enjoy that. We're doing a bad job of boiling this down to 3, but I think we've got 2 so far.
Oh, without wrestling.
Wrestling.
Other things is working with teams because there's nobody that can do it themselves. Yes, everyone here is moving mountains, but you're moving mountains together. My family lived in many different countries. I was born in England and I grew up in India, New Zealand, Canada before living in the United States. So having that kind of outside-in perspective, I think did play a part of it. But in all honesty, culturally, I don't think my family, my parents, for example, they have no idea what I'm doing. So in many ways, I'm the black sheep of the family in that I come from more of a academic family. That's actually not the case in India, for example. There are a lot of entrepreneurs and people do run their own businesses. But in my specific case, I actually grew up in kind of a culture of less risk taking. So I would actually say that it was kind of more innate to me. Maybe it skipped a generation. I don't know, but culturally, I think at least from my background. There's still outliers that do this.
So before we move to Mehdi, to pick up on that, when you grew up, when you were growing up, did you have that in you? Did you notice having that entrepreneurial spirit in you?
I would say I was a late bloomer. I think it took me a long time to figure out this is what I wanted to do. That's not the case for a lot of people. You look at Valley companies these days, and it's 20-year-olds that are generating all the buzz. And me as an old 36-year-old, it's an anomaly. So.
My family and my culture in my family is really competitive. There are rugby players, almost professional rugby players. They like fighting and getting after stuff, and that's actually the thing I think that comes out of me, where I like pushing and going after the next thing. And as Ranjith, I think I'm a late bloomer as well. I didn't grew up thinking I was going to be an entrepreneur, but I wanted always the next thing, and at some point the next thing was being an entrepreneur, so I wanted that, and then I went at it. So.
Yeah, this actually reminds me of a conversation we had was, we were reflecting on the choices we'd made, at least with our career, if not with our lives, over the past decade or so, and there was kind of some sense of whenever we saw a closing door, we always wanted to kind of burst through it and see what was on the other side. And yeah, maybe that does come from the background of, as much as I downplayed in my story, my family grew up, all over the world without a support system, and we're always kind of looking to better their lives. Was that, specifically tied to starting companies? Maybe not when that granularly, but it's the same vibe, I guess. When you look for opportunities and the door's just closing, you're like, you stick a foot in and push your way through, as politely as possible. But assume that you know nothing.
Yeah.
Always start from scratch.
You're probably gonna fail, so just do it again.
I never believed in the Hollywood story of Silicon Valley startups, and that you have to scrap every single day to do it. And I really listened to the advice I got and realized that I wasn't alone in this. And that's the one thing I would counsel young entrepreneurs on. I've got 2 advisory calls later on today where I'll deliver the message is you're not alone in this.
Yeah, you got to find the right balance, being stubborn and like wanting to do that, so not like giving up, and also listening to people, like listening to advice, like Ranjith said. Like you got to find the right balance so that you succeed.
I would say my family. I enjoy spending time with my kids, and that's probably my biggest achievement. I didn't screw that one up.
Oh, that's a hard question. I have no idea. Yeah, seriously, I'm like, I don't know if that's it, or I've never really thought about it that way.
Definitely, probably in a business sense, not being able to keep my co-founding team together the first time around. Learned a lot from it, and won't make the same mistakes.
I'm really bad at these questions. Suck. Well, maybe you know better what would be my biggest failure. You know me pretty well.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I always wondered why you didn't start something earlier.
Oh yeah.
In many things that you're doing, you feel like you're the only one going through it in the world. There are many, many people going through the same things.
I think it's something that you probably said at some point, which is, you're probably gonna fail. Don't take it personally. Just try again. Somebody told me I should be a teacher. That was the worst advice ever.
I guess it goes back to kind of, again, I come from an academic family, and I think I was always taught that you go to school to learn your profession. What I learned the hard way was you go to school to figure out what you want to learn. I'm still a fan of Portola Valley. I just like the vibe there. We spent a lot of lunches there. It's just a beautiful place to take a break from all this madness.
Yeah, Lobster Shack.
Probably play on the piano with my kids.
Get my ass kicked by Arthur at FIFA.
It always goes back to family for me, so it's probably something around my wife and kids and some happy moment in there. There's many.
To me, it's just a blur. It's like things that have happened in the past 10 years. So